I'm posting this case because it brings up some issues we've been discussing on chat about the use of the Stropko and the mirror. It turned out to be a much more difficult case than I thought, and the pulp chamber was completely filled with composite. So this isn't a Denton preservation case, but I think it indicates the role of the Stropko in at least this sort of case. So you can access these cases without having the assistant use the Stropko on your mirror. I'm accessing this case with a diamond, with a water spray, and I can see very well what I'm doing. I don't have to have the mirror right next to the tooth to have complete visual control over what I'm doing. And I'm going to make an access through the gold. I'm going to pretend that this is enamel and not a crown, and try and keep this just as small as possible, just for the exercise of showing this principle. So again, my mirror is toward the bottom end of the rubber dam, and I'm looking down now. I've gone through the gold, and I can see that the head of that post completely fills the pulp chamber, and it's completely surrounded by composite resin. So I'm going to try to trough around that post, pretending that it's Denton or even composite. It is composite, and we're going to continue working here. You can see my mirror is not being dirtied. It's down near the bottom of the rubber dam frame, and I have pretty good visual control. Probably not the kind of control that Mike is suggesting with the mirror right next to the tooth, but it's sufficient for me not to be guessing at what I'm doing. And remember, I can actually see more doing the case than you can in this video, because the video is just through one eyepiece. And when I'm actually doing the case, I have binocular vision, I have stereo vision, so I have an even better view of it. Now, instead of taking a diamond, as Pushpack's case showed the other day, I'm just going to trough around this post, and I'm going to trough the resin around that post and not really remove any tooth structure at all. I'm just removing the resin. This entire case from start to finish took about an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm not going to bore you with all the boring details of it. So these are just kind of the highlights. I take the CT4 or the CK2 diamond and just simply trough around it. And you can see my mirror is not being dirtied. The assistant is not blowing the mirror off. I feel that I have very good visual control over what I'm doing. I can see actually when I'm doing it that I have the tip on composite. I'm not hitting the post or just very, very obliquely. And if this was Denton, I would be able to trough around that post and not remove very much Denton away. So I'm troughing around the post. To me, this just seems much easier than doing it with a burr. It seems more exacting to me than it would be with a burr. A burr is larger. A burr has the handpiece in the way, so you'd have actually less visibility than this. I've worked this way for really 20 years, removing posts and composite buildups this way. So it's just maybe another way of doing this that works for us, and it's very efficient. So as you can see, I'm working wet, I'm working dry, but my mirror is not really being dirtied that much because it's way down at the bottom of the rubber dam. So I'm able to work continuously. I did this entire case, removed the gutta percha, instrumented to patency and all the canals. got calcium hydroxide in, shaped them, and removed all of this composite material in about an hour and 10 or 15 minutes. And worked relatively stress-free. Here you can see I have a very good visualization all the circumferentially around that pulp, even though the mirror is far away. It's not next to the tooth at all. And I'm doing this wet, I'm doing it dry, and I'm working continually, and I'm troughing away that composite resin around the post. And I believe I did this tooth and didn't remove really any dentin at all. I had very good visibility. I just removed the composite resin and didn't ditch the furcal floor or the side, or the dentin on the side of the root at all that I'm aware of. Ordinarily, I would make that access much bigger, but I'm trying to simulate an actual tooth, what you'd do if it was enamel and dentin there instead of porcelain and gold. So I dry off, I dry the composite off so I get a good sense of exactly where it is. And then up on higher mag, I'm taking the CT4 and trying to get the rest of that composite. That composite has locked that post in place. This post was much more difficult to remove than it is typically because it was cemented with composite as well. So what you want to do is undermine the composite all the way around that post. So this is relatively detailed work, and I'm basically just blasting the composite away and making sure that I don't ditch into the furcal floor or in any of the dentin around. I'm just removing composite. And I'm doing it wet, then dry, wet, then dry, look, then work. And you can see my mirror. You can see the mirror there is resting against the lower end of the rubber dam frame. It's actually resting on that rubber dam frame, and that provides some stability so you're not feeling like you're on a roller coaster. And Joy is not cleaning my mirror off. She's using the suction and assisting very, very competently through her scope. And I'm just going circumferentially. Now, yes, some of this is done by feel. I will admit that. And now I've dried it, and I'm looking and finding out exactly how much more composite is along the furcal floor around that post. I don't really want to cut into any dentin. Here I'm going after the buccal composite so I can get into the buccal roots, the distal buccal and mesiobuccal roots of this tooth. I'm using a CT4 diamond there. Can you use just a diamond in a handpiece? Yes, you can. I don't have a problem with that, but this just seems easier to me. I have very, very good visibility. It may not be quite as fast as a burr, but I think it creates less debris as well. Here you can see I'm wet, dry, and my mirror is relatively clean. Now through this, yes, Joy is changing my mirrors. But that takes a fraction of a second, and she's replacing that mirror pretty much in the same position. You're looking at this. You're not even aware that she's switching that mirror for me. And there, now I can see a little remnant of gutta percha, so I know that I'm close to the furcal floor now because I can see some gutta percha. And obviously through the scope you can see this with much more detail than you can in the video. So now my idea was I'm going to try and take that post out using a FlexiPost driver, but the hole is too small. I can't even get the driver in. Now I'm going to remove the rest of the composite that's over the buccal aspect of the furcal floor. And I think I see an MB2 there. and I put an instrument in, and it is the MIST MB2, and I'm actually in it. I'm not having much luck with the palatal because my wrench is too big to go in there, so I dry it off. I go in with my CT4, and I'm going to undermine more of the composite cement that's right around the post. And I have very good visual control of this circumferentially. Even though the mirror is not next to the tooth, I'm not guessing here at all. I have total visual control over what I'm doing. I go in with a vibrator tip, and now I'm vibrating the post out, and we were able to get it out just simply with the vibrator tip, a VT1, I believe, and the post came out. And then I went ahead and removed the gutta percha from all of the canals. There you can see the composite still around the post space. We removed that with ultrasonic. Can you do this with the burr? Yes, you can do it with the burr, but it's just as easy to do it with an ultrasonic tip, and you can do it very quickly and very easily and never really touch the dentin. There's files in the mesiobuccal 2 and distal. I had done the palatal canal earlier. So that's just up for discussion on chat.